Dinesh D'Souza's newest film is titled The Dragon's Prophecy and explores the biblical history of the Israel-Palestine conflict. D'Souza even described going into a war zone to produce the movie.
Part of what this debate is about is like, whose land is it really? And I think the Jews have the claim here to being, in a sense, the original inhabitants, the aboriginal inhabitants, if you want to say, of that land, because they were there going back 4,000 years.
Yeah, I wonder how that elevates the debate. If Native Americans showed up in the United States and said, we can prove that we were here 4,000 years ago, would that really elevate the debate about the rights of Native Americans today with tax-free cigarettes and casinos?
Well, what I would say, Matt, is this. You can get a country, if you look at the borders of countries around the world and how they got their land one of three ways. The first way is by being there all the time, right? By being there first. How did the Indians get India? Well, they've been there as far as we know. So original inhabitancy is one claim. The second claim is you get a country through negotiation. Someone kind of negotiates it out, like the UN basically decides after 1948, okay, we're going to have Israel, Palestine, we're going to partition it. And the third way is by conquest. So in the case of America, you have a dispute, right? Because the Native Americans were here first. They have the original inhabitants card, but then you could say that they were having wars against each other, taking each other's land, and the white man came and took it from them. So conquest is another way to establish title. But here's what I'm saying. The Jews have it all three ways. They were there first. They got it by negotiation. The UN gave it to them, and they've won every war, 1948, 1967, 1973, and now, of course, October 7th. So they are, whatever checkbox you want to use, Israel checks all the boxes. In the United States, there's a kind of a conflict, but in Israel, there's no conflict.
Would you say the same about Gaza?
Well, the Gaza situation is tricky because Gaza, interestingly, used to be, in ancient times, the land of the Philistines. Now, the Philistines were Greeks. I mean, they came from Cyprus, they came from the Aegean. These were Europeans. So these are not the inhabitants of Gaza today. There's a very weird sort of similarity of the name, but it comes through a peculiarity of history, Matt, which is that the Romans, when they conquered Jerusalem, the Jews had some uprisings, the Romans got mad, and the Romans basically said, to annoy the Jews, we're going to take the name of their ancient enemies, the Philistines, and we're going to call this land Palestine. So the Romans are the ones who inflicted on the Jews the name of their classic enemy. And so there's a kind of strange sort of connection of names between the Philistines and the Palestinians, but it's important to realize that genetically those are not the same people.
The Dragon's Prophecy, in theaters October 6th and 8th. Streaming and DVDs available October 9th. Get the film at thedragonsprophecyfilm.com.